Okay. So once again, good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start our start introduction towards the server topics. Okay. So all these days, the last 7 8 days, we were discussing about the client operating system and the client related activities only, right? So today we are trying to understand or we are trying to start the server related topics. So before that, let us understand what is how the clients and the servers are interconnected, or how the clients and the servers are having the importance with respect to the IT operations. Okay, so you already know that now the client means any device that you use in your day-to-day life in order to access some application or some services. That client can be anything. You may have your laptop, you may have your desktop computer, or you may have your a mobile phone, your palm tops, or your tablets, whatever it is. You are using that and you are consuming some applications or some services from a third party server or whatever it is. Okay, so that is called as server. So here clients relevance is like client will only consume some application as an end user. Okay, imagine you are trying to access an application called Facebook. You are trying to access that application using your laptop. If you shut down your laptop, the other users who are trying to access the application Facebook, they don't have any impact. Correct na? You are just shutting down your laptop or your mobile phone, but that is not causing any impact for the other user who are parallelly accessing the application called Facebook, because the application is hosted on the server. Here, this is your Facebook server. Okay, and these are the client computers, because since the application hosted in this box and you are trying to access the application from multiple clients, the devices, even if you shut down one of that client computer or client device, the application will not have any impact. But if you do the other way around, instead of shutting down the client computer, if you shut down or restart the computer, the Facebook server here, this server, then whoever is connected to this application, right, they will not have the application available. So that means the Facebook or the server has got more importance than the client. Okay, that is why when somebody raise a ticket stating that I am unable to log into my computer, there is no impact. You can just go to the computer or take the control of the computer and analyze, and you will have enough time there. But if multiple pupils are telling you like I'm unable to access the application, or some people may tell you like we are unable to process the orders, everything is related to money there, everything related to the business. Okay, so when you have multiple users are impacted, that means that may relate to the server issues only. That is why server role is very crucial compared to the client. Okay, means server has got more importance than the client. That is why server engineer will pay more salary, they'll get more salary than the desktop or the end user support engineers. Okay, this is the server and the client infrastructure, or how the connectivity will be there, how important both are explained. Okay, so since we are starting today, I will also try to show you how can you start installing the operating system, server operating system also. Okay, so we will use the same VMware tool. Let me take you to the VMware here. Okay, and you can create a virtual machine in order to install the server operating system. That is a standard way. You have to go to VMware workstation. You can click on create a new virtual machine and then you follow the wizard to create the VM. So let me quickly do that. I'll go for custom, then I will install the operating system later option, the third option. And here In Microsoft Windows, I don't need a client operating system. I have to select a server operating system. Okay. I already have this Windows Server 2016 version with me. ISO image downloaded. I will select that, and I would like to give the name 2K16. Okay. Now I want to keep that virtual machine image, the virtual hard disk, in my D drive, because in my D drive I have enough space. In the C drive I don't have much space, and that is the reason I'll go inside the VM, create a folder called 2K16, and I'll store that. Okay, let me select that folder. Proceed next. So I'll go with the default, the BIOS option or UEFI, whatever it is. Okay, and I would like to select two processors, and the memory will be 4 GB because I have maximum 16 GB. You can say maximum recommended memory is 13.4 GB because I'm already running my base machine. The maximum available is up to 16 GB. Okay, hence I would like to have 4 GB of memory here. Click on next, and the rest all default. You have to create a disk. You click on create a new virtual disk here. You can have 60 GB of space. By default, it is the recommended size for Windows Server 2016 60 GB. So even I would like to go with a 60 GB, but I don't want to split the 60 GB into multiple files. Okay, see here, by default it is selected split virtual disk into multiple files. When you split, it will get divided like in a multiple pieces. It won't store it as a single file. It will split as multiple files. So what I would like to do, I will try to store virtual disk as a single file, and I can click on next. You can see this is VMDK 2016 VMDK is nothing but virtual machine disk. This is very important, guys, because we are going to talk about the VMware, we are going to talk about the servers, right? So you should know all the file extensions also. So VMDK means it is virtual machine disk. VHD means virtual hard drive. Okay, so click on next, and you can see all the settings whatever you have given, it will be replicated now here. You can see the reflection here. See, memory, you know that we have given 4 GB memory. Processor, we have given by default 2 processors. Hard drive 60 GB we have created. You have CD, DVD, all the other facilities of the computer or the server is available now. Now what are we going to do? We are going to install the server operating system. The installation of the server operating system goes in the same fashion how we did the client also. The only change we see here is when you are inserting the image, the operating system image, right? When you go to your here CD DVD option, or you can go to edit virtual machine, and then you can pick up the hard drive here. CD or DVD auto detect is there, right? So here you can use ISO image file, and you can browse, and wherever you have already stored, right? You go to the software. I have already downloaded in the images. See, I have 2019 ISO, 2016 ISO, but let me go with the 2016 image because I am trying to install the server 2016 operating system. So click on this 2016 image. Okay, and then you can power on the virtual machine. See, normally when the computer starts, right, the booting will happen, means the computer will try to detect the operating system in multiple places. Firstly, it will try to check any of the DVD, CD, or maybe in your pen drive or USB stick, whatever it is, and then it will go to the hard drive, and if the hard drive has got any operating system, it will boot from there. If no operating system found, it will throw an error called no operating system found. So what we have to tell now, since we have already inserted the new image, the operating system image here, so it automatically detects and it will ask you, I can see there is an operating system presence in the CD or DVD ROM. Would you like to continue boot from there? Yes, if yes, press some key on the keyboard. You see here, as soon as I click on power on, you will see that message. See, it started loading, and you see, press any key to boot from the CD or DVD. I have to press. If I'm not pressing, see, it will go timeout and it will not continue installation from the DVD. So now, in order to do do that same thing again, you need to reset, and now it start booting. See, I have just pressed some space bar in the laptop and it started booting. Because I have confirmed the computer, you can continue boot from the image whatever you are finding in the DVD ROM. Okay, so now as usual, it will give you the prompt. Let me make it full screen here. Yeah, it will give you the installation wizard. The standard thing, it will start with this place only, where you have to select your language, your time zone, and your keyboard layout, everything. So 99.9% of the time we will go with the default, because we always follow United States English. Okay, so you can click on next. Then it will ask you, would you like to install or you want to repair? If you want to repair, you can go with this repair option. Means you already have some operating system and that operating system is having some issue. Maybe it is not able to boot or it is having some performance issue. If you want to do that analysis or maybe the troubleshooting, you can go here, repair your computer. But in our case, we are freshly installing the server operating system. Na? Then you have to go with the install now option. I just clicked on install now. Then it will show me whatever options. I mean, multiple operating system versions are there. Okay, so it will just give me what kind of operating system or what sort of flavor you would like to install. It will give you 4 options. You can see here, the first one is Windows Server 2016 standard evaluation version. Means it is a standard version. It will have the graphics. It won't have the graphics. Okay, if you see the second one, standard evaluation with desktop experience, means the first one will only have the command prompt. You will not see any graphics at all. Anything that you do, you have to do via commands only. If you want to create a user, you have to use commands only. If you want to log in, log out, if you want to give some permissions, any activity that you do, that everything should be done in the command prompt only with the 2016 standard and 2016 data center evaluation. And the second one and the fourth one has got additional feature called desktop experience. So desktop experience means it will allow you to do both command prompt as well as the UI user interface, graphical user interface. Okay, desktop will be there. So since we are all professionals, we are going to work as a professionals, so all our servers will be data center standard, okay, with desktop experience. So select the last option, 2016 data center evaluation version, and you can click on next. Then it will ask you to read and accept the license terms and conditions. When you have time, please go through this documentation, okay, and then you have to accept the license terms and conditions. Click on accept and click on next. So now you will see 2 options here. The first one is upgrade, second one is custom installation. Okay, so when I say upgrade, you already know that you already have some version. Say for example, you already have a server 2012 version in the same computer and you want to upgrade that from 2012 to 2016. So in that case, you need to put the latest operating system, like I have inserted 2016, and if I can select upgrade option. But in my case, I don't have any operating system at all. I am freshly installing the operating system. Hence, I have to go with the second option, which is install Windows only. Okay. So as soon as I select that, it will take me to the next stage, where it will show me the overall allocated storage. If you can recall, when we were creating the virtual machine disk, I told 2016 standard is 60 GB. Then the same 60 GB disk you can see here. Okay, now you have to create the partition out of the 60 GB, and the business have requested out of 60 GB to create two drive. Say for example, one drive of 50 GB for the operating system, another one drive with a 10 GB for the data drive. Okay, how to create the partitions? You can see multiple options: refresh, load, or load driver, extend, delete, format, and new. So if you click on new, right, it is giving you the total available storage in MB. 61,440 MBs are there. So I only need 50 GB. So 50 GB means it is 1024 into 50, because 1 GB is 1024 MB. So into 50 if you do, it will come to 50 GB. So let me go to calculator here. I'll show you the calculation also. So if you go to calculator, you need to do 1024 into 50. So that comes to 51,200 MB. So what you can do, you can put 51,200 and apply OK. You can see a new partition, which is a primary partition, got created for 49.4 GB, but you have given 50 GB. So the operating system, server operating system, it created three more partitions, okay, which are recovery 436 MB, system 99 MB, and MSR 16 MB. So if you minus these much MBs out of 50 GB, you will end up 49.4 GB, and that is your primary drive. You cannot use the recovery system and MSR drives, and you can even not be able to see that in the computer. So this is the logical partitions created by the operating system, okay, in order to create the indexing and all. Okay, the connection between both the drives, okay, that information will be there in the first three partitions. But this is our primary partition, which is a 49.4 GB, and in this drive only you are going to install the operating system. And remember, always 99.9999% of the time the operating system will be installed in the first primary drive only. So in this computer you can only see two drives, but in the real-time production environment and all, you will see multiple disks. Primary only 10, 15, 20 disks you will be having. Then how will you make sure in which drive my operating system is there, or in which drive my application data is there? It is important to understand that logic. Okay, so as a thumb rule, the very first primary drive will have the operating system. Okay, so now I have to create one more drive, right? I have to click on the unallocated space here, click on new, you use the entire available space, and you see 10 GB it got created. Now I cannot go with this 10 GB drive for installation because it is 10 GB, but the customer asked me to install for the 50 GB drive the operating system. So click on that 50 GB drive, click on next. Here now the installation starts. So this is where the installation starts. Okay, as usual, it copy all the application files or all the libraries from the DVD to my computer first. Okay, so once the complete files are copied, then it start installing the features. One by one feature it will start installing. So once the installation is done, it will also check for the latest updates. If any latest package is there, any latest driver is there. Okay, once everything it makes sure like everything is up to date, then it will finishing up, and after that it will restart. Once the computer get restarted, your application or your computer is up and running, your server will be available, then you can log in with the root user who is administrator, and administrator is the super user of the computer, and he can do anything and everything. Okay, so administrator means is the superpower of the computer. You should aware of it. Okay, so this is a complete flow of the installation. So what we can do, I'll pause the video now. We'll take some question meantime, and once this is 100% completed and get restarted, we'll come back to the server, and then I'll show you what are all some activities, the post build activities that we will perform with respect to the server, which is very very important. See, when you install the client, you don't monitor the clients, but when you install the server, you will monitor the server. Means there are couple of standard industry standard monitoring applications are there. Okay, means ticket will be getting created, they will be always keep on monitoring the servers. Okay, say for example, uh, we have Splunk is a monitoring tool. Xenos, that is also a monitoring tool. There are multiple monitoring tools. SolarWinds, that is also monitoring tools. So what we will do, we will onboard these servers to those monitoring tools, and we will tell the tool, keep an eye on this server, make sure there is a ticket gets created as soon as the threshold is breached. So we will tell threshold means the defined percentage of usage, like CPU, memory, and disk. 90% is the threshold. If the CPU goes beyond 90%, create a ticket. If memory goes beyond 90%, create a ticket. If the disk, C drive or data drive or whatever drive crossed 90% of the usage, then they create a ticket. So you will always onboard this server to the monitoring system, but the clients are not. We will not do the clients. Client monitoring will not happen, because the server monitoring should happen, and it will happen. Okay, now you see the computer got restarted after an installation. The installation completed, it didn't even took 2 to 3 minutes. It's pretty faster. So it got installed now, and it got restarted. Let the computer comes up. You can see now the computer, the server installation is done. Let me make it. The installation is done. Okay, and it is asking me to set the password. You can set the password. The password should be alphanumeric, minimum 8 character, and it should have the special character also. It should be complex. Simply, if I want to tell you, the password should be complex. Okay, so as soon as I enter the password, you can set the password. See, yeah, now I have set the password. Let me log in to my 2016 server with the set password. So I have just logged in, my authentication is done. And now you see here, I'm able to log in, but I've made the full screen. Even though I made the full screen, my computer is not showing me fully. It is, see, I have the display till here, till here, till here, but it is only giving me small window here. So why it is like this? You already know that after installation of a client computer or a server computer, we have to make sure whether all the required drivers are installed or not. So since we are in the VMware, go to this 2016, right click, and there is an option called install VMware tools. So these VMware tools are nothing but it's a package. It will have bundle of drivers, bundle of plugins. Whatever libraries are required for this computer to have enough performance, so all the bundle will be there. You can click on install the VMware tools. It is asking me, yes, install. Now as soon as I click on install, a CD will be getting inserted. See, DVD drive, a VMware tool. It got inserted to this computer. You have to go to this VMware tools and click on run the setup. This is how you have to install the any software or any agents for that matter. Okay, now click on next. So it is asking you, would you like to go with what kind of setup? You want to go with the typical one or complete one or the custom one? So I don't know what all modules I have to install. I always prefer to go with the complete package so that it will install everything and it will not miss anything. Okay, whether you need some module or you don't need some module, it will install everything. Okay, and that is what I wanted. Click on install. Now the VMware package is started installing. You can see the copying the driver, installing the VMCA driver, starting the services. See VMX, USB mouse, everything it is installing. Then it will also say it is installing video driver. Since it is installing video driver, see, as soon as it got installed, my window became full screen. So that means now my computer is up to date. And it is asking me to restart, and you have to restart. If you're not restarting, it will not take the effect of all the driver changes or whatever changes happened. In order to have the better performance, the computer should be always restarted as and when it is required or it is requested. Sometimes computer itself will ask you, the server itself will ask you, please restart. Then you have to restart. But when you want to restart, you should not simply restart. If the computer is already there in the production, you have to make sure you create a change ticket. So you have to create a change ticket, okay, and then take the approval from the business. Tell we are going to restart this server during the today during the off business hour, or once the business is completed, then you are going to restart it with the approval. Now you see, I can see the full screen. Administrator. So as soon as you log in, first and foremost thing that you need to do, okay, that is checking the computer name. Now you already know how to check the computer name. Go to command prompt and run a command called sysdm.cpl, system domain management.cpl, and it will directly take you to the computer name wizard here. You can see in the portal I have the name called 2K16, but in the operating system I have a different name, Windows UV8 V98 CUQ0U. That is not matching. What I have to do, I have to rename the computer. So click on rename and you can put 2K18. Sorry, 2K16. So click on OK. Try to have the same name always in the VMware console, also in the operating system. So whenever you do a domain joining or the computer renaming, you have to restart the computer, because the same value will be reflected in everywhere on the registry and other libraries and all in the computer, inside the computer. So in order to take it effect, you have to restart the server or computer basically. So now my computer is pretty faster. It came back after a quick reboot. Okay, let me log in, send control delete. Password @123 is my password. Okay, you can use the same password because it is complex. Fine. Now, so when I told the password right here, you should never ever reveal your password. Okay, you should keep that in mind. You should not share your password, or you should not share a single account, generic account accessed by multiple users. No, that should not be the case. You should not do that, because in IT security is very important. There are so many compliance and non-compliance things will be there. Audit will be going on. Okay, you have to always adhere the auditing the things. Okay, the company standards. Now, if you see what is your computer host name, there is a command called host name. If you type that, it will tell you what is my computer name. See, it is 2K16. So I'm good now. Let me go to my computer and see. If you remember, we have created two drives, but it is only showing one drive here. It is showing the 49.4 GB, which is 50 GB drive, but the another 10 GB drive, it is not visible here. How to check that, or how to get that enabled. So there is an option called disk management. You can go to search here, disk management. You can uh, create and format hard drive partitions. If you go, it will take you to the disk management. Okay, or you can even use the commands disk mgmt.msc disk management dot microsoft console. If you just enter, it will directly take you there. You expand it, and you can see here you have a C drive which is 49.45 GB, and you have 10 GB healthy drive which is your raw partition. See, it's a raw. Right click on it, and you have an option called drive letter. See, change the drive letter and path. Click on it, click on add, click on the available letters. It is not, ABC is not available, so better to give E drive. Click on E. Now you see the E drive is healthy. It's a primary partition, and you can see the E drive got populated also here. 10 GB total capacity, free space is 10 GB. So let me go to the my computer now, or this PC. You will see the two drives now. See, drive C, drive E. Double click on drive E. First time it will always ask you to format when you are freshly building the computer. The format can be done in two places. Okay, here also you can do format, or you can do from the disk management itself. If you go to disk management here, right click and do format, it is pretty faster. Yes, yes, see, it is now, it is not raw. If you see, it is not raw, it is simply a 10 GB of NTFS partition. Now you can see here new volume with drive letter E, it has got 9.9 GB space, means close to 10 GB. This is how you do the disk management inside the server. Another things what you do, you have to make sure the time zone. Okay, right click on the time here, go to the adjust date and time option, and you have to always ensure you are in the right time zone. See, it is showing US Canada UTC 8, and if you see the time, it is 8:13 p.m. They are always close to 12 and half hour difference, okay, compared to us. So if I change the time zone to our 5:30 plus 5:30 GMT, or you IST timing, plus 4, yeah, here you see, plus UTC plus 5:30, 5.5 hour, right? Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai and New Delhi. And you see the time from 8:13 p.m. it got changed to 8:43 a.m. So this is our time zone. This is very important to have the time zone. You may ask a question, why sir it is important to have the time zone corrected? See, normally when you do the activity, scheduled activity, say for example, if you want to shut down the computers automatically, you will schedule a script, and the script will always work on the time whatever is available in the computer. So imagine this activity should happen in Indian timings 8:30 p.m. in the night. If you are not setting the right time zone, then in the computer you will not have the right time. Then it will do according to the right time which is set in the computer. Means it should happen in our timing 8:30 p.m. evening, but since the timing is there for UTC 8, it will shut down the computer during the daytime, right? So that is why it is important to have the timings. And remember one thing, when the computers are domain joined and when the computers are having the Active Directory connection, then you don't need to worry about it. The Active Directory domain controller will ensure all the computer will have the right timing and the right time zone. Okay, so that is important. So now you know how to create a VM, how to log into the VM, how to check the computer name and rename it, how to check the domain time zone, and how to do the disk management also. Then along with this, you will have a couple of agents. You may need to have, you may need to install some agents. Like if you are configuring this server for backup, you need to install the backup server. If you want to configure some monitoring agent, Splunk, you need to install the Splunk UF agent. Okay, let me show you if let me check if I can download some UF agent and install it. And so I am unable to download the universal forwarder agent. So I mean, you know that it's a package that you have to double click and install. That's all, nothing much. So in the computer, in the server, right, you have a console called services.msc. Okay, you have to get in here, services.msc, and you see here there are a lot of services. Any service that you think of, that service is available here. Say for example, printer. Your printer is not working in this computer. You can just go to printer, print spooner. See here, it is running and automatic. Sometimes it might be stopped. You just have to right click and restart. Or if it is already stopped, you can start it. Okay. Imagine the server is not sending the DHCP. See, DHCP client is there. Just right click and restart it. Okay, so this is where you see all the services, or maybe the server is the backup is failing every day. Okay, so you need to make sure the WMI writers are correct, or VSS writers are correct. WMI writers, maybe you can right click like this. It is not started. Okay, so because I have not configured any agent, no? That is why it is not started, but if required you can start it, not a problem. So this is what the services you have to be aware of. Okay, this is a console. Another one is in the server you have event management. Okay, so EVENT event viewer dot msc. This is the portal or wizard where you can see all the events are logged. You go to the Windows logs, there you see application. If you have an application, you can see what is the application. Security logs, you can see who logged on what time. See here, if I want to see the logon, you can see special logon. I mean all the is login, logout, who logged in at what time, uh, what all activity they have performed, those kind of things. System, if you want to see any kind of DNS or anything that you want to see specific to the services. Now I have restarted the client. Now see here. So DHCP v4 client service is started. Okay, service start. Who did? We can see here. Service start. Who did also we can see it here. Let me find that event. Or you can, I don't know what is the event. See, everything will have an ID. This event ID is there, right? That event ID you have to search and find out the information. Okay, so I want to show you few more applications and system only. In the applications, the system, okay, warning. What is this warning? Yeah, I have just restarted my computer to generate an event, right? So let me log into this computer and see if that event got recorded or not. Okay, so let me go get into the event manager. So there, if I go to the we'll go to the Windows logs, under system logs. Find you see here there is an event called 1074. Okay, you see this event. If I open the process C Windows Explorer.exe has initiated the restart of the computer 2K16 on behalf of this 2K16 slash administrator. Means this administrator has restarted the computer. What time? This particular timestamp. Okay, who is the user? See, 2K60 Windows administrator. So this is how you should know what event will be getting triggered or recorded during each activities. Okay, once you have that, you can come here and you can just trace out and take the artifact and you can give it for the root cause analysis, the RCA. Okay, so this is how you will trace the record, I mean events. Anyway, I'm going to explain to many other things on this actually in the coming days. So since it is a first day, I would like to limit for this much. Okay, anyway, from tomorrow onwards I would start the other topics, so we will continue from there. I think for today we are done. Let me stop the recording and then I can take any questions if you have.